I'm a subway riding, yoga posing city guy. And I'm in the wilds of Naples, Italy.
Hey, do you want to show me how to do this?
About to milk a very annoyed water buffalo.
Never mind. Whoa. Careful, Giuseppe. Careful. Sorry, sweetie. I'm gonna try and milk you again, okay? Here we go.
How did I get here?
I'm David Moscow. You might know me as a child actor.
I grew up in New York, but I spent my summers in the wilderness of Maine, Utah, and Montana, where I ate berries off of bushes and fished out of running streams.
There was no town close by. So if you needed stuff built, if you needed stuff grown, you had to do it yourself.
And I now realize my childhood summers were the last time I had true connectivity with the food I was getting. And I want it back. So I came up with a plan to meet great chefs from around the world. They present me with a dish, and then I hunt, fish, forage, and source all the ingredients to recreate this meal from scratch. Come join me on this crazy adventure as I find out how food really makes it onto your plate.
Welcome to the Bronx. This is where I grew up. And that is my childhood pizza parlor. Every New Yorker has a local, and it makes the best pizza in the world. Or does it? Pizza. Everybody loves pizza. 3 billion pizzas are sold every year. 17% of all the restaurants in America sell pizza. I'm gonna go to the birthplace of pizza. I'm gonna travel to Naples, Italy, and make a pizza pie from scratch. So my mom and dad got a chance to travel to Italy. And they said, Naples will be your favorite city on the planet. And the reason why is it looks like the Bronx in the 1970s. It feels like New York City from the 80s. When I got here, it felt as if this was the place I grew up. I love it. The graffiti on the walls, the cars driving by, people honking, people yelling, and the great pizza. I feel quite at home here. Like 4 or 5 of the top pizza places on the planet are right here on Via dei Tribunali. So we're gonna walk through and check out all the crowds, ask people why they're online for this particular pizza place.
Very tasty. And this is my very first pizza feta.
Where are you from?
I'm from Vietnam. I will never eat pizza in Vietnam again. I swear.
You're U.S.
Yes.
How's this?
Just checking out.
How does that one compare to the pizza in Washington and Virginia?
Big difference.
Big difference.
That's not a pizza. We don't have
You don't have no pizza. In America, sometimes they put some strange things on pizza.
In America, but it's not the...
No, what are you gonna say? No.
In America.
What about America? Let's hear.
In
Let's
America,
hear.
you can do only the meat.
Only the meat.
Pizza, the real pizza is Napoli. There's nobody can do pizza.
So I figured the only way to know if this was true was to go to the most famous restaurant in Naples, La Antica Pizzeria da Michele. These guys sometimes do 1,000 pies a day of only 2 kinds of pizza, margherita or marinara, with cheese or without. And at €4 each, they're a steal.
Allora, io mi chiamo Emanuele Liguri e sono di Napoli. Questa pizzeria ha una storia di oltre 100 anni, dal 1870, grosso modo. Abbiamo 2 pizze perché la tradizione ci diceva di fare solo margherita e marinara, quindi per il popolo, per la gente della città.
I have to source this pizza from scratch. So I guess number one, first I have to harvest wheat. Then I have to make a cheese. I see the basil. I gotta pick tomatoes.
Leggero, olio di semi. Il pomodoro San Marzano che viene anche da quella zona, grosso modo.
That's the famous tomato.
Sì.
All right. This is pretty simple. Not that many ingredients.
Sì.
This is the most famous pizza in Naples.
Sì.
Fold that. Oh, it's a good pizza.
Buona?
Oh. That's a great pizza. My goodness. I'm gonna see you in a week.
Davide, bocca al lupo.
Thank you, grazie. So Emmanuel gave me my mission. But I'm gonna add a little twist to it, because as a New Yorker, I had to do things my way. Don Michele just gave us a list of ingredients. I'll have to get him wheat, tomatoes, and basil. Mozzarella cheese. I love anchovies, so I'm gonna add that to the menu. This is gonna be an anchovy pizza. The first thing we're gonna source on our list is anchovies. So the sun's going down. So I'm going fishing in the Mediterranean off the west coast of Italy. Vittorio fishes the old way with a small boat and a set gill net managed by hand at night.
Buonasera. Nice to meet you. Vittorio Lombardo. Buonasera. Marco
David.
Pasquale.
Nice to meet you both. Grazie.
Prego.
Hola.
We're gonna go fish for anchovy with nets. The same way the fishermen of Galilee fished in the New Testament 2,000 years ago. So as the boat pulls away from Pisciota, I mean, what you're struck by is just how gorgeous all these little towns are. I mean, this town isn't much different than any of the others along the Italian coast, but it feels like it was always there, like it was meant to be there. You have these little houses stacked on top of each other in the corner of this little crevice of the mountain. And it all just leads down to the sea. Like most of the life, you know, on the Tyrrhenian Sea and the greater Mediterranean, all roads lead to the ocean. So as we're pulling away from the shore, I had this growing trepidation, mostly because I'm not a good fisherman. I rarely come home with a catch. There's also a little something else in there, and that's called seasickness. So I'm hoping this happens kind of quickly. Maybe an hour or two, we catch the anchovies and go on home.
La menaica è una rete molto antica, importata dai greci in tutto il Mediterraneo. E veniva pescata un po' dappertutto prima, poi è stata abbandonata in quanto pesca la qualità ma non la quantità. Quindi è una rete, vedi, a maglia piccola dove le alici vanno dentro con la testa.
So this only catches the anchovies that are the right size, so it's a sustainable net.
Vittorio follows the model that the Greeks have used for 2,000 years with a net that has small mesh for the anchovies, but that's soft enough that other bigger fish, like tuna, could pass right through. And I asked him, you know, how long do these nets last? And he's like, well, we get holes in them over the season, and then at the end of the season, we repair the whole thing for the next season.
Okay, you should try to
take the anchovies from the net, one by one.
Yeah.
Really?
Sì, sì, sì.
Is that what you have to do?
Una per volta.
Yes.
You have to take each anchovy out of the net.
Tiriamo la rete una per volta.
A third of all the fish caught in Italy are anchovies or other small pelagics like sardines.
So the nets have been cast, they let me assist, and now we wait. There's something really meditative about being forced to wait on an ocean. There's not much to do. You sit back, you watch the buoys, you check out the land.
There's no modern sonar or echo sounders or other fancy fish detection equipment, just Vittorio's knowledge and experience. This is as authentic as you get.
But then there's also this growing hope that something's gonna happen. We're back here at the net again. The beacon's right there. Much of me pulling. Oh wow, we've only done two of the styrofoam borders. There's still a long way to go out here. Oh, there's one. We've got some anchovies.
I have no idea how these guys knew when they had the anchovies. I guess it's just a lot of experience and a little bit of luck.
Ha! The curse is broken.
The fish do seem very abundant in this area.
I'm like pulling this freaking net. It's wet. I'm sopping. Oh, here's another one. I haven't built up the muscles like these guys, you know, doing this for 40 years. This thing is hard. We got the anchovies for the pizza, for a little crudo and some anchovy paste and a lot more. This is gonna be great for the from scratch pantry. So it was a success. We got a couple bucketfuls. I didn't get seasick. I'm pretty proud of myself. Now it's on to part 2. We have to salt these guys. So the salting of anchovies is a traditional hands-on job. All right, I remember these.
Sì.
So I go like this.
Così, guarda, qui.
And it's also kind of filthy. You gotta pop the heads off, you gotta get the guts out.
He's a master at this.
Questi sono quelli antichi.
Oh, wow. So now, what goes first, the salt or the fish?
Prima sale.
All right. So what Vittorio does next, and what people have been doing for generations there, is they stack these anchovies with salt higher and higher. And then they put a wooden lid on it, and they place a rock on top.
E adesso pian piano il peso schiaccia e il sale fa maturare le alici. Fra 3 mesi sono pronte da mangiare.
So this rock puts pressure on the salt and the fish, squeezing out this oil at the bottom, which they then jar. You put it on your pastas, you put it on your pizzas, you put it on any dishes that you're making. And then after the fact, you're still left with these salty anchovies.
Oh, from the tail.
Adesso
This is so exciting.
questa è
Look at
tua,
this.
questa è mia. Bisogna aprire piano piano.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Aprire, aprire, aprire.
It's a lot prettier than mine. Oh, this is exciting.
And these anchovies are what I want to bring back to Michele. Since I'm down here on the Amalfi already, I'm gonna swing by and pick some famous Sorrento lemons to make Chef a little gift. Limoncello is basically an alcoholic lemonade, made along the Amalfi Coast, particularly from the island of Capri. The recipe calls for lemons and sugar to be steeped in an alcohol, normally vodka or grappa, but today, we're making the alcohol out of lemons. It's one of my top cocktail drinks. On a summer afternoon, sitting in a cafe overlooking the Mediterranean, a nice limoncello and soda water, you can't beat that. The turquoise waters, the dramatic cliffs. You take the most beautiful mountain passes and just repeat, repeat, repeat. So here, I've come to meet Antonio, who's gonna teach me how to make that alcohol from fruits, from lemons themselves. This is pretty exciting.
Ciao,
David. Hello.
Benvenuto.
Thank you for having me here. What kind of lemons are these?
Questi sono il limone di Sorrento. Il limone di Sorrento ha molto sole durante l'estate e quindi ha un po' più di zucchero, e poiché noi abbiamo bisogno dello zucchero per fare l'alcol, è molto importante che ci sia un limone che ha molto zucchero.
So let's go grab the other lemons and tell me about the next step in the process.
Sì, perfetto. Andiamo.
After picking the lemons, I have to make a lemon mash to ferment. All right, shall we go to the next place?
Ok. Ok, perfetto.
It's good.
Perfetto.
So do you want to explain how this works?
Allora, noi prendiamo il limone fermentato, che quindi già contiene l'alcol, e mettiamo tutto all'interno dell'alambicco. Poi i vapori iniziano a salire e qui incontrano il freddo e ricondensano, e da qui esce il distillato. Quindi nel primo passaggio esce alcol al 30%, poi noi facciamo una seconda distillazione.
We have some lemon alcohol or lemon pulp that's been fermenting now for about 9 days. And this is just a miniaturized version of this larger still. The alcohol is going to evaporate up through this little section, come down through here, where it will cool in the cold water that we put in, thus condensing and finally dripping out into our little copper cup. So we are about to go taste the alcohol of lemon. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, wow, that's lovely. That's great. It's very dangerous. In this episode, we discussed the fermentation and distillation of lemon alcohol. Now, one of the rules of From Scratch is I have to have my hands in every step along the process, but I can't shorten, the 6-month aging process. We had to make a big leap where they put the lemon alcohol into casks to age, and this is what we ended up with. So I'm gonna call this the final product. We're gonna go take this and use it to make limoncello. On to the next ingredient. So after parking in the scariest parking space on the Amalfi Coast, I'm headed up the mountain to a lemon orchard on the cliffs to meet a limoncello producer and pick more lemons. I'm making 1 cocktail of limoncello. So how many lemons will I need for that?
Un bicchiere. Generalmente noi in 3 litri usiamo 12 limoni.
These lemons are so sweet. The rinds you can eat right off the lemon.
I would never do this in the States. Just the lemons we get there are too bitter. So
Ok, dai, prendi l'alcol.
here's the alcohol,
Okay.
and then these are your lemons
Alcol
right
e
here.
limone.
These are
Ok,
these are yours.
perfetto. Ok, iniziamo, mettiamo qui sopra allora.
Okay.
Ok? Adesso fai questo qua tu, piano piano. Tutto il contrario?
This way.
Ah sì.
So the traditional way is just to take off the top layer and leave the bitter pith behind.
Tutto? No, questo è alcol, eh. Questo è alcol puro.
It's good. So this has to wait 3 days for the alcohol to mix with the lemon rinds and us to have sort of the beginnings of limoncello. Now that we have the alcohol, the next step is to steep lemon rinds with sugar to make the limoncello liquor. So it's been 3 days, we're back in Chitara.
Ok? Vieni, andiamo a fare il liquore adesso, vai, vieni.
Oh, look at that color. From scratch pantry. I got the sugar in the Philippines from coconuts. I hope I can concentrate. Now that is good. Wow. Citrus just got real.
Andiamo?
Yeah.
Ok? Fai vedere? Salute.
Salute.
Fai vedere? Molto buono.
It's wonderful. Wonderful. The base of all pizza crusts is flour. Some people like them thick, but Don Michelle likes that real thin Italian crust. And in New York, they say what makes a good pizza is the water. In Italy, they swear by the wheat. So I'm driving to the Italian countryside. I'm passing these medieval towns, and I'm looking for this wheat field. I'm looking for Antonio's wheat field. Born in the Fertile Crescent, wheat is a grass that's been harvested for its seed, the grain, for over 10,000 years. Humans eat more of it than any grain on the planet, and wheat trade is more than all the other grains combined.
Vedi David, questo è il grano, l'abbondanza.
I mean, people have been doing this for thousands of years. I get to go sit in the air-conditioned car. I got, you know, a bottle of water if I need it. I can't imagine what this was like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 500 years ago, harvesting wheat by hand to make pizza.
Aria.
You're dehusking it with the air. So where should we go?
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to show me?
Fagli vedere come si fa.
Si prende il grano, con la falce si raccoglie. La mano va da sinistra verso destra, anche se l'uomo è mancino. Colpo secco.
Okay.
Vai, procedi.
That seems relatively simple. Okay, where's a good place for me to go? Over
Fai
here?
che stoccare, Nico.
Sì, allarghi.
All right, let's try that. This type of tool, the sickle, has been used since the Iron Age to reap grains.
Piega, avanti.
Lower.
Spiegaci con la mano. Ah, Isa, questo non è un buon lavoro. Perché poi questa qua va qua dentro.
Because it'll be dirty. Doing manual labor, working outdoors in the hot Italian sun is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Is that low?
Vai. Ne devi prendere di meno. Facci che
Damn,
mi
with the
vedere
roots.
di meno.
This sickle has been used for millennia to reap grains.
Oh, yeah. You understand.
I got it a little better that time. They're held in bunches with the seeds aligned. And then one of the stalks is wrapped around what's now called a sheaf, and it holds it all together. In talking with Antonio, you could tell that he was just really, he had a ton of pride about what he was doing, about the wheat that he was making. And you can tell that across the board with Italians. They really care about the food that they're producing. And it's why this pizza is amazing. How much for one pizza? How much?
3.
3 bundles?
3, 4 for one pizza.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, well, I have my work cut out for me.
Yeah, you work.
So the grain is enclosed by a tough membrane husk. And once harvested, the husk needs to be removed so you can get at the grain. To do this, it needs to be milled. Thank goodness for mills, because I couldn't dehusk everything by hand. So now the hard work's done, and it's time to turn this wheat into flour.
Antonio told me to find Graziano at the stone mill.
Lino a Pietro.
Graziano?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. How are you? David?
Tutto bene, Graziano.
Nice to meet you.
Tutto bene.
Ah!
Grano, sì.
This looks familiar.
Sì.
Oh, but this has been dried.
Grano varietà abbondante.
Let's go.
So this machine was quite modern, which made me think about how hard it must have been back in the day, because even now it's quite a task.
So you don't really see, oh, down here. So, comes in through here. This is mesh lining here. And I guess it's being sifted till it comes through.
Italian flour is graded by color. It's called the extraction rate. Depending on how much of the bran is taken out, the lighter it gets. And it's graded from 00 to 4. 00 being the pizza flour that we need. It's powdery, very sifted, very white. 0 is all-purpose flour, 2 is a whole wheat flour, and 4 being used for breakfast porridge.
That's cool. And that's for the pizza. For the pizza.
Wheat is such an important thing for humans, and I've always wondered what it would be like to harvest wheat. So for the first time, maybe the only time in my life, I got to do this. And, you know, using my hands, harvest wheat and make flour. It was a pretty mind-blowing experience.
Ingredient number 4, buffalo mozzarella.
Buffalo mozzarella originated in Campania, which is the region that we're in. And Italians were the first to make this kind of cheese.
Ciao. David.
Antonio.
Nice to meet you, Antonio.
Tutto bene?
I'm good, you?
Benissimo. Adesso ti accompagniamo insieme a Giuseppe.
Ah, Giuseppe. How are you, David? All right, you're gonna show me how to do this.
Ok, andiamo.
Scary, scary.
These buffalo are so pampered. As I walk in, they're being serenaded by Mozart. There are these big massage machines. I wish I was a buffalo. Buffalo were introduced by the Arabs and quickly became an animal used in farming because their big, big hooves don't sink in the mud. I am gonna go milk a water buffalo. This is insane. This is insane.
Wow, this is wild. Okay, do you want to show me how to do this? He's priming her. All right, so I keep it out here, right here.
Fa paura.
This was a tough one. I got down there to milk.
Oi.
Once you get some milk on your hand, it's hard.
Yeah.
Buffalo is not very happy with us. Never mind. Whoa. Careful, Giuseppe. Careful. I'm getting more milk on her leg than. Sorry, sweetie. I'm gonna try and milk you again, okay?
Oi.
All right, here we go. There we go. I think she was like already milked this morning because there's not a lot in here. The farmer said the best way to do it is to get up, get behind the animal, lift the tail, and pump that way, which puts your face exactly where your face doesn't want to be. It does make you pump really fast, just to get out of there. So we got the milk, now it's time to make the cheese. So let me tell you, it is hot, hot, hot. And they give me this big soup to put on, my cheese-making soup. Marco, how are you? Ciao. So I have some milk. First thing I noticed is there's this really kind of weird vibe going on in here. Okay, Marco. What do I do next? So, can I join? How do I start? How do I start with this? They weren't so open for me being there. So here we go. I think no one told them that they needed to teach me how to make this. Let's try it. The mozzarella guys don't look up. Well, they glance at me, and then they go back to work. Grazie. Finally, they let me join.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone who's an expert likely hates to see someone doing it wrong.
Oh, finito.
Okay, I'll finish it, yeah.
Sì.
Scusa, guarda. Senza fare come dici tu, Vieni qua, Vieni un attimo qua.
I understand.
Vieni qua.
And sometimes, you know, the chefs are kind of good, and other times it is an issue, as we see here.
Si sta rompendo, noi la dobbiamo lavorare questa qua. Oh, ti faccio vedere, questo lo puoi
I just want you to hear what I'm saying.
Così, guarda.
Here, if he had been friendlier and showed me how to do stuff. Okay. So what we have here is an extreme case of what always goes on. Whenever I go someplace where there's an expert who knows what to do, they really have a hard time, like, ceding any control. I understood that they were very protective because this is their tradition. No. So that turned out a little different than I planned. If you look at theirs, it's nice, it's got this triangle. I got this ball of whatever. But I got my ingredient. I almost had to find a mozzarella maker for it, but I got my mozzarella. And now it's time for our last and final ingredient, tomatoes. And I'm headed to Medea. Because of the rich volcanic soil and the constant sun, which tomatoes love,
tomatoes blossomed in Italy, and people began to set up canning factories. One of the most famous varieties is the San Marzano, grown at the foot of Mount Vesuvius in Naples. It's a plum tomato, which refers to its shape. It's sort of oval, a little teardroppy. It's drier, meatier, with less seeds than most tomatoes, which lends itself to canning because it's not watery, so when it's canned, it keeps its flavor.
The type of tomatoes that we're getting today, what kind are they?
They are San Marzano tomatoes.
We found tomatoes! Whenever you think about Italian food, you think about tomatoes, you think about red sauce. But what's weird is that it's a New World plant. It came from America. So prior to, whatever, 1492, there were no tomatoes here. I wonder what was going on, you know, their pastas at that point. I guess pizza didn't even exist yet. Yeah, we got them. We got
Mio
them.
amico. Ah, bene.
They look good, right?
Ah, benissimo. Ok.
We're excited.
Ah.
So we
Andiamo
can. This is
basil.
basil. This is basil.
Ah, yes. Oui, oui.
Ah, we need basil.
Un pezzo. Così. Così. Dai, dai. Oh, bene.
Perfect.
Ah.
Grazie. We had forgotten the basil. How could we do that? It's one of the most important ingredients. Tomatoes became really important once they began to be canned. Napoleon actually offered a huge prize to anyone who could improve food preservation to better feed his army.
The inventor, Nicholas Appert, claimed the prize. He came up with sealing boiled foods in airtight jars, the beginning of canning.
So we put both cans in here, and he filled the water maybe a thumbnail above the top of the lid, and now it's gonna boil. The boil is done. We're about to taste this.
Eccolo qua. È questo. Questo è vero, vero?
Yeah, that's great.
Mica scherzo. Eccoli qua. Ah.
Oh my goodness.
Ma veramente?
That is killer. That is killer sauce. That's great red sauce right there. My God. Boom! Done! I got all the ingredients. Let's recap. I fished for anchovies. Oh, there's one. We've got some anchovy. I picked tomatoes. They look good, right? Okay. We're excited. I harvested wheat.
Vedi David, questo è il grano.
I made mozzarella. And I'm gonna give the chef some limoncello. Oh, and I almost forgot basil. I got basil. This is basil. This is basil. I've made it. Well, we'll see. He hasn't tasted my pizza yet.
Okay.
I have a lot to live up to right now.
Water, acqua, qua dentro.
Pour this in here.
Sì.
Boom.
Ok.
I'm about to make the best pizza in the world. This is where the rubber meets the road. I'm gonna make a pie.
Allora,
the experts are separated from the pretenders. I'm watching you, yes.
Ti faccio vedere io?
All right.
Poi dopo fai tu?
Emanuele, I'm hearing you. Yes, let's do it. Oh, and you flip it.
Così? Tira, 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 tira. Tira. Oh, bravo. Ok, gira.
Here?
Gira. La mano. Così. Ok. Mettila qua. Dai, qua.
All right.
Allora, sì, qua, solo qua. Ok. Bravo, puoi imparare.
One of my favorite things in the pizza is when it gets the dough bubble So how does that happen?
Il cornicione che è più grande è perché il pomodoro non si mette fino a qua, non si mette sul bordo del pomodoro, si mette qua, vedi? Intorno. Che quando va nel forno, questo qua si alza.
Three mozzarella balls. These are the experts, and these are mine.
My matzo balls are shaped a bit different from the experts, but it ain't that bad.
Tomato. Okay.
One, two, three. Oh, we got a little messy. It's okay. It's okay.
Appoggia qua, qua. Put it back up there, qua.
I got a little tear here.
Hai visto?
It's okay?
Ok.
Look at this.
Questo mo se ne viene appresso.
Look at that. That's so sad what I
voglio
did.
dire che si rompe.
He's not happy. He wants to start it again, but we can't. Look at that. All right.
Ah.
The look he gave me, he was like... Oh, okay. All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Una pastocchia.
Look at that. That was smooth. The dismount right there was very smooth. But this misshapen thing, it makes me love it even more in a way. That it's not so pretty. So like a little New York slice.
Huh?
It's good. The anchovy is too salty.
Il sale non si sente.
There's no salt.
No.
This is good.
Buona, anche l'olio.
Yeah.
Sta bene l'olio con mozzarella di bufala. Quell'olio.
Right. This isn't like a home run. I'd say it's double. I want to try that.
Bam. Look at that.
That's just perfection. Just the right amount of sauce, the right amount of cheese. This was amazing, and I want to thank you so much. Grazie. I have a little gift for you. So while we were here on the Amalfi Coast, I not only made pizza, but I also made limoncello from scratch. So this is a thank you for everything here. It turned out well, I think. Much better than my pizza. I made a pizza from scratch. I did it. Something I never thought I was going to be able to do. And I also learned, working alongside the farmers and the fishermen and the cheesemakers, I learned how many people it actually takes to make that slice that I've always taken for granted. So next time you take a bite of pizza, I want you to remember all of the hard work it takes to put that on your plate.